Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay. So, hello and welcome to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. That's the name of the channel. The name of the show is Boxing Talk with Raphie, aka the original wrap-up show. Don't settle for any cheap imitations. A mere figment of your imagination. OMG. Okay, the bell could be a bit sharper. I need to clear my desk. Need to get some of these papers up on out of here. On up out of here. Okay. So we got the Leon figures in bright and early. Leon figures was in early. The Raphie a little bit later. You see, Raphie's had a bit of a busy day. Not too busy, but busy enough that after dinner, after the evening meal, and the evening cigar, washed down with a rich red wine. The Raphie decided that he was gonna recline for a moment or two just before the show, and let's talk a little bit about the show. What's that here? Let's drop that down. And let's pull up. Where are we? Too many windows open. Let's pull up a thumbnail. Where is it? There it is. Boom. Which we use as a little bit of a menu. So I can take you through the show, talk you through the thing, talk you through the menu. Okay. So, a few days ago, you may have heard the news. You will have heard the news that Bud Crawford was fighting not Errol Spence, but davidavanesayn. Seen here, bottom left. Okay. Errol Spence talks and negotiations. What about them? Well, those had been protracted. Those talks had been going on. Hold on, I got some fluff on my muffler. Let's get that off, okay? Those talks have been going on now for 5 months, and still couldn't come to an agreement. Still couldn't nail it down. So, Bud Crawford said, "Okay, you know what? An offer hit his desk. Let's talk that." His advisor for this one was Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather may have been the conduit, may have been the link-up man, allegedly. Don't want to go too deep into that because I ain't got no proof on that. It's just a word. Floyd Mayweather may have been somewhat involved in this deal, which landed on Bud Crawford's desk. 10 million to fight davidavanesayn, and Bud Crawford said yes. Let's do it. Yes. Let's go. And we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Ennis, Jaronennis, Sikh's IBF Mando shot at Spence. Spence gonna be fighting his IBF Mando. Or is he gonna move up? That's another option. Move up in weight. That's another option. You're gonna be talking about that. Ennis down here. rising talent. Okay. Some people think he's ready for Errol. Okay. And of course, Fury versus Chisora 3. And we ask the question. We look into the dynamics of the thing. Thanks for everybody who's gone over and checked out the video. All up in the video. And we're going to be talking about it here live tonight. Okay. And down here, we see Gerald Washington. Over here, we see Audley Harrison. Here, all in white. And we see, what's this cat's name? The trainer of Wilder. Malik Scott. Dang. His name escaped me for a hot second there. Got me concerned. Got the Raphie worried. Malik Scott. And smallest of the bunch. I don't know. Looks like he's being out-angled. Smallest of the bunch. Dillian White. Okay. What's that? The Ukraine colors behind there and the Israeli flag. Yeah, Kanye West might have something to say about that. OMG. Okay. Crawford Spence will make a great fight for 2025. OMG. Okay. Well, first things first. Let's do a sound check. Let's do a sound check on this thing before we go. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, where are we? Yeah, let me just copy the link, paste the link, drop it in there. Let's go to the sound check. Let's do this. Let's pin that. Boom. And let's do the sound check. Let's kill the music. And let's listen. Okay. Copy the link, paste the link, drop it. What's that? The Ukraine colors behind there and the Israeli flag. Yeah, Kanye West might have something. Boom. Sounds good. Sound is good. Session is good. Levels are good. Okay. Uh-oh. What's going on there? Is that moving? Is that even moving? Yeah, okay. That's nice. All right, let's come out of that. Let's get into this shiznix. Where do we begin? Okay. Let's take a sip. Let's take a sip of the aqua. And un momento, mommy, slow your tempo. I almost forgot. Y'all must have forgot. Let's drop that down. Let's get some visibility upon this thing. And let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment to welcome in. Hold on a sec. Let me share this. Where are my manners? Sharing is caring. This is breaking news. Happened today, a couple of hours ago. Let's take a moment to welcome in England's new Prime Minister. In case you haven't heard. And he goes by the name of, well, before we do that, in the last 6 months. Excuse me. In the last 6 months, England has had 3 different prime ministers. Who was it? It was Cameron, David Cameron. He resigned. He did the referendum. He did the referendum where people would vote whether England stayed in Europe or left. So he did the he said he was going to take it to the people. He took it to the people, and the other people who voted to leave Europe than stay in, and that caused inflation, prices through the roof, cost of living crisis, some bad stuff that we're going through right about now. Of course, with the COVID situation, that didn't help because there was already a bad economic climate, and then coming out to Europe just compounded that. So Cameron resigned. Was it Cameron who resigned? Yeah, he resigned a while ago though. So that wasn't in the last 6 months. No, my bad. That was it. That was what, a year ago or so, or 2, and then came in Boris Johnson. So he was the one. Yeah, he was the one who resigned earlier on this year, Boris Johnson. And who came in after Johnson? Who came in after Boris Johnson? Oh yeah, Liz Truss. Liz Truss came in. Liz Truss. And she how long did she last? About 6 weeks. She lasted about 6 weeks. She came in with a bold maneuver, bold attitude towards economics. Got the Chancellor of the Exchequer, what's his name? Kizzy Kwame, to do a bold budget which cut taxes for the poor, but cut them more for the rich. The rich benefited more. Some other moves which pushed inflation up higher, saw the pound drop to record lows against the dollar. And the Bank of England had to step in. There was no confidence, low confidence to no confidence. No confidence to low confidence. And Bank of England had to step in to shore up the bonds, the bonding system, the bond system, the pension bonds. Had to step in and spend billions to shore up the thing. The Chancellor had to step down. Or was he fired? Yeah, even though he was doing Liz Truss's bidding. And now, so Liz Truss had to go. She went a couple of days ago. And now we have Rishi Sunak, the first Prime Minister of Indian origin England has ever had. He wasn't voted in by the people and most of the party. He wasn't voted in by most of the party. But it's kind of ironic because right about now is today's Diwali, an Indian celebration. So I got my Indian neighbors, some Indian neighbors across the way. And if you hear what sounds like gunfire, it's not gunfire, it's fireworks. Celebration of the Indian festival of Diwali. And it's ironic that it's happening on a day when the fella of Indian origin, Rishi Sunak, the ex-chancellor, he was chancellor under Boris Johnson. Obviously, he lost his job when Boris Johnson stepped down, or was forced to step down. And so now we have England has the first Prime Minister of Indian origin. So it's quite a historical moment. Yes, indeed, the first man of color to be Prime Minister by the Tories. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thought it? Wasn't voted in by the people though. So the people of England are calling for a general election. And the sooner the better. So interesting times. Congratulations to Rishi Sunak, the millionaire, married to a lady from a billionaire's family. Very, very rich lady. So the question is he a man of the people? Can he be a man of the people? Went to boarding school for the rich. Rishi Sunak. Can he be responsible? Can he be fiscally responsible? It comes from a business background, so he should be able to be fiscally responsible. Should be able to be. But yeah, I think it's only fair that we start off the show by mentioning this historical moment for Britain, England. And with that, let me welcome in the Leon Figures. Leon Figures, how do you do?
Peace, Mr. Dawkins. Special shout out to the fight doctor as well. It appeared that I was asking him to leave. I went to type in peace, fight doctor. I actually done an autocorrect to leave the fight doctor.
Oh dear, yes. Hey, these things happen. Hey, many a situation has occurred through autocorrect text.
I've got a funny story about that one.
I think we all have. Go on and give us the story.
Well, I was dating a girl. She was known for being rather hot-tempered. No, hot-tempered. Hot-tempered.
I'm joking. Carry on.
And
do I know this lady?
No.
Are we sure?
Yeah. Behave, Mr. Dawkins.
Okay, confession's good for the soul. I'm just saying.
If I'd had the chance, I probably would, but I never had the chance.
Pray continue, Mr. Figures.
And talking of typos, I made the cardinal sin of calling her the wrong name.
Oh Lord!
And all hell broke loose.
Oh Lord!
All hell broke loose.
Good Lord!
Yeah, totally unnecessary, but
yeah.
You know when you just know something's going to happen. It's like they say the Titanic knew it was going to sink, and it was too slow to turn around. You know,
Wow.
And this was the days before you could unsend messages.
Yeah.
Rapidly unsend.
Yeah. I've got an even crazier one than that. I can't say I was going out because I just had a couple. I just started to date this girl. She was very unusual. She was a lesbian.
Oh, hello. I like them.
And you're saying, well, how are you dating a lesbian? Well, I was just in a club one night, and
I do like lesbians, I must say.
And she was there, and I don't know. Our eyes met. And I could tell by the way she moved, the way she looked at me. You could just tell that she was into the Raphie. She was leaving the club. I was in the foyer, and I could see she was going. So there was no time to waste. So I just got to the point, there wasn't even much talking. It was like instant hello. The bodies were close to each other. What's your name? What's your name, girl? What's your name, girl? What's your sign? Raphie joking. Quick chat. Telephone number, quick time, no messing around. Yeah, and it was just simple. I mean, hello, name, number, boom, date, second date, third date. Was it a second? Could have been a second or a third. I can't remember. And anyway, we went to this place. And Raphie, man of the people. Raphie's a man of the people. Raphie's a man of the people, but we just happened to be in this place and it got invaded. It got invaded by people of a particular ethnic group. Just boom. It was quiet. It was a quiet night and boom, it just got invaded. I don't know if there must have been a big birthday party or something. And I said, I wasn't being racist, but I said, damn, what's going on here? And then this girl now, she was very PC. She worked for the council. Everything was very PC and PC at all times. And I may have said something that was, I don't know, was it off color? Could be termed as off color, but it wasn't from the heart. It was jocular. It was jokey. She was very PC. And I said, oh yeah. She said, but you can't say that or blah blah blah, like it was some serious comment from the heart rather than a jocular comment, because she was so PC. And I just saw this kind of, it's nothing. But then she was trying to make out that I was some kind of the black Alf Garnett. You know what I'm saying? The black Alf Garnett.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So which nothing could have been further from the truth. It was a jocular remark, light-hearted, very light-hearted. Because the Raphie is a man of the people. Anyway, so it's a bit deeper than that. It's a bit deeper than that because on that date, she disclosed, this is deep. I mean, do I even say it? Okay, I might as well say it, because for you to understand the story, for people to understand the story, I have to really tell the story. I can't really be chopping bits out. Who's Alf Garnett? Who's Alf Garnett? Hold on a second.
We're an age to remember Alf Garnett, don't we? You have to
say that again.
You have to be a certain age to know Alf Garnett.
You have to be a certain age to Alf Garnett. Bloody hell! I just typed in ALF and Alf Garnett came up straight away. Alf Garnett overview. Alf Garnett appeared in the chat. That doesn't really. Alf Garnett. Can I show this? Can I share this? Yeah, I think I can share the whole damn page. Let me share the whole damn page. Present screen share. I think I have to tell the whole damn 9. It'll be difficult to. Okay, so that's Alf Garnett. Alf Garnett was a fictional character in a British TV show called From Death Till Death Do Us Part, and he was a racist cat. You know what I'm saying? Would you say he was a man of his time? He was a typical man of his time. What was that? The 70s? Yeah, I think the 70s. Maybe he started in the 60s, but went into the 70s. Anyway, was he the wickedest man? I don't know if he was the wickedest man, but he had certain off-color views. Anyway, he was far more off-color than me. And my remark was kind of a throwaway remark, not malicious, not from the heart, not deep. But this lady in question, she kind of acted like, oh, like I was some kind of the Black Alf Garnett. Oh, no, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so that was only a part of the story. Let's drop that out. So really, my energy was a little bit different maybe that night, because it turned out, I'm trying to tell this story delicately, she was a virgin. She was a virgin, as in she had never been with a man. She was a 30-year-old virgin.
Oh, now we're talking.
And I think she told me this on the second date. She was a 30-year-old virgin. Now this is the third date. Now I was kind of rubbing my hands together. Raphie was rubbing his hands together,
getting ready to dig around in there like Christopher Columbus.
Raphie was rubbing his hands together like Birdman. You know what I mean? Rubbing his hands together like Birdman. And then we're talking, and then it turns out that she'd only been with one man. I said, okay, well, that ain't bad. Only kind of been with one man. And I said, okay, who's that cat? I don't know if I asked her who it was, but she told me who it was. And the one man she had been with, the one man she had been with turned out to be the guy with whom she shared a house. She was currently sharing a house with.
Oh dear.
There's another oh dear coming up. There's another oh dear coming up. That's one oh dear. The second oh dear is, and hey, once again, trying to make the Raphie out to be the Black Alf Garnett. I don't know. The second issue with that was that her housemate was a man who preferred men. So Raphie's energy changed. You say that's not quite a deal breaker yet, but that was the first oh dear. Now I've given you the second oh dear. The man in question was a man who preferred men. That's the second oh dear. And so the Black Alf Garnett. Now, the Raphie didn't blow a fuse, but the Raphie, you can understand why she considered the Raphie to be the Black Alf Garnett. Because the Raphie wasn't down. The first oh dear was like, okay, not quite the deal breaker. Not fully quite the deal breaker yet. But the second oh dear, that was, for me, all right, call me the Black Alf Garnett then. Where is he? Shall we bring him back up? That was, what the hell? Yo, the Raphie, you remember that song by Hall & Oates? Remember that song by Hall & Oates? Where is it? Where's that song by Hall & Oates? Hold on. Let me find it. Where is it? Let me find it. Get the hell out of here. Where is it? No, thank you. about it, say no go. I'll do anything that you want me. Yeah. Yeah. It was, I'm afraid to say, but hey. So it was all systems go. And then she came with that. And Raphie's mood changed.
Hang on. What exactly did she come with? What have I missed?
What do you mean? So the first idea was that she lived with the only guy she'd ever been with one time was the guy she was currently living with, the housemate. That was the first idea. Yeah?
Yep.
That was the first idea. The second idea is that man in question was a man who preferred men.
Oh, the same man was the man who... Oh.
Yeah. And it was all
a separate story. I thought that was just a flatmate. I never knew it was the same guy.
No, it's the same guy. The same guy. Yeah. And everything changed. Every time I end, I can't go for that. No, can't. So the black Alf Garnett. First of all, we had the race thing, where I kind of commented, jokingly about, these people who had invaded the space. It was a quiet night. It was a nice bar, lovely bar, quiet, and then bush. A set of people of a particular persuasion flooded the place in seconds. I said, "What a ross!" And Massa made a little off-color comment, but it was made in a jocular manner. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't from the heart. So that's the first. So she looked at me a bit like an Alf Garnett character from that moment. And I said, no, don't take it to heart. And then immediately after that was when this topic came up. And she said, yeah, it was the housemate, one. And two, the housemate, is of a certain persuasion. And Raphie's attitude changed. I guess she would say that Raphie kind of went cold. I was like, whoa. Oh, yeah, it got worse, actually, because we actually discussed it. I actually discussed why I couldn't go for that. I can't go for that. I was pretty honest about it. I was no can do. Oh no. I told her I was a bit too forthright and a bit too honest. I said, yo, listen, I talked about disease. I talked about the potential for disease and cross-contamination, and you know where I'm at. I mean, this was like what? It's a few years ago now. And there was an illness going around. There was an illness going around. And I said, yo, with that illness there, the cross-contamination. And I was pretty raw. I was pretty rough when I look back. I didn't mean to be as rough and as raw as I was. But I basically said, yo, it's because of women like you. Women like you can put men like me in danger. Which is kind of raw and rugged. But the Raphie can be very forthright at times. Was that a bottle of gin? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, it's a no-no. I see what you wrote there, Adari, but it's a no-no. And I was kind of forthright and kind of straightforward about it. I was like, yo, bit too rugged. There's the bit too rugged. I said, yo, it's women like you put men like me in danger. She said, how? I said, well, cross contamination because you went with a high risk. You went with a high risk guy. And so it's women like you that put men like me in danger. Saying it back now, I'd like to think I said it a bit softer than that. Fight Doctor writes, the Raphael Dawkins freaky tales should be a segment of the show every week from now on. I worked in club promotions, my friend, for a good 10-year stretch. So when it comes to tales of that a freaky dimension, tales of the unexpected with a freaky twist, then I got a few of them. But the Raphie don't cross. The Raphie don't. There's certain, there's Raphie's straight as an arrow. You know what I'm saying? Raphie straight as an arrow. So even though, what she did there, what she did, it's not what she did. It's who she did it with that, represented a problem for the Raphie. Because every man, is free to do as he sees fit. But my gal them can't be meddling into certain things. My gal them can't be dabbling into certain things that could potentially lead the Raphie into an illness situation.
Be practicing safe activities regardless, and then putting the safety in our own hands. So it's that's my public service announcement. Practice safe activities, everyone.
Yeah, practice safe activities for real. Well, to me, it was just too close. It was just too. To me, that was a high risk activity that she engaged in. And I didn't need because they say everybody's only. They say there's only 6 degrees of separation from everybody. Anyone on the planet. Anyone on the planet is only 6 degrees of separation. So, for example, you've never met Mike Tyson, have you, Leon Figures?
No.
Right, but I have. So, from you to Mike Tyson, there's only 2 degrees of separation because I have met him. So, there's you, there's me, there's Mike Tyson. That's only 2 degrees of separation for you. Frank Bruno, I've met him. There's only 2 degrees of separation there. Now, with my gal, the girl I'm talking about, because of what she did and who she did, because she did what she did with who she did it with, that would only leave me 1 degree of separation from somebody who practiced, who fell into a high risk that would leave me 1 degree of separation from someone who fell into a high risk category. And the Raphie don't like that. The Raphie don't like that. So, long story short, as soon as she told me that, the Raphie's demeanor kind of changed. It kind of changed. And then on top of that, we had the situation with the influx of them people. So then she was looking at me like, when at the end of the date, he was like, she probably knew that I wouldn't be pursuing her anymore. And hey, that was that. I mean, I was looking, we're on course to be having some great fun times. But as soon as she told me that, I said, nah, no, not for me. So, gave her a little kiss on the cheek at the end of the date, and she knew that I wouldn't be calling back anyway. So I drove back home, whatever. Did she drive? Can't remember. She caught a taxi or whatever. And I think I checked my phone. And then I received a text from her. And the text read, I can't remember word for word, but it read something like, "I'm so sorry. So she had meant to send a text to a friend of hers talking about me, the Black Alf Garnett, and she thought she had sent it to me, which she had not. So to be clear, she meant to send a text to a friend about me, talking about me, the Black Alf Garnett, as she saw me. And then she thought she'd sent it to me by accident, which she had not. So then she sends me a second text to apologize, which was actually the first text. So she sends me the second text, and the second text read loosely, because I can't remember exactly exactly word for word, but she said, I apologize profusely for the text which I accidentally sent you. This girl was of a different race, by the way. I understand that it was deeply, deeply offensive. Some of the terms I used was deeply offensive, and I apologize profusely. I understand that you'd probably never want to see me again.
She wasn't that PC then, was she?
Well, check this out. I understand that you'll probably never want to see me again. And once again, I apologize profusely. So check this out. So the girl who was calling me, who was suggesting that I was Alf Garnett-ish, sent a text to a friend using some very unsavory language. So it seems like she was more of an Alf Garnett than I. What a strange twist.
She sounds like a natural liar. She just sounds like a natural liar, because she went from virgin to only slept with one guy. Then she's like getting offended by, racially charged jokes to using, hard racist language.
Yeah. So, that's one hell of a. I
think if you'd gone to her place, she might have woken up tied up to her bed with the roommate in there, and
you know what I mean. You just
and some clan masks or something.
So it was funny how she was all uptight and hoity-toity, and then it turns out that. So see, sometimes it's like the lady doth protest too much. She was going on all hoity-toity, all holier than thou, whiter than white, and then it turns out that the lady doth protest too much. Too much. You know what I'm saying? She was protesting about some things, but she had skeletons in her closet. She had bigger skeletons in her closet, and it's quite fascinating. Quite fascinating. Let me just take a drink. I'm very thirsty today.
Well, I must say,
yeah,
you do have some exceedingly interesting stories. I mean, I thought I did. But mine are nothing compared to yours.
I've never told that story. I don't think I've ever told anybody that story. I don't think I've ever shared that story with anybody. on a one-to-one basis or otherwise. So that story, that's probably the first airing ever. The first ever airing of that story. It's crazy. It's a crazy story. But the thing that gets me is that at what point did she actually realize, when she actually checked the text properly? Because I think at some point she would have realized that, hold on a second, I didn't send him a text. I didn't send that text to him. But I sent the second text to him, admitting to the context of the first text. So at what point did she realize that she didn't actually need to send the apology text because she never sent the first text to me?
I mean, she probably did realize it, but you know, by that time, the horse had bolted, as you say. She'd already confessed to a crime that you was unaware she'd committed.
Yeah.
And that is why I say, if you're ever arrested, don't say a word, because you'll end up incriminating yourself unwittingly.
Absolutely, straight up. But still, there must have come a point the next day or the day after where she actually sat. I'm just saying, I would have loved to have seen her face when she actually checked the texts again. You know, sent to. Hold on. I didn't send that text to him. I never sent that text to him. I'd love to see her face when it dawned on her that she didn't actually send the initial text that she thought she did. I would love to see her face. I'd love to see it. It would have been a picture. It would have been
thinking, me and my roommate were nailed on to do him.
Yeah. What did you just say?
She probably thinking, me and my roommate, we were nailed on to have him. So we let one get away there unnecessarily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was never any suggestion of any three-way. There was never any suggestion of that. I mean,
he never got to that point. He was leading there, Raphie.
I mean, I wouldn't have gone over to that place. You know what I'm saying? No way, no how. I wouldn't have gone over to that place. But I think, it was a one thing. It was just a no. It was literally two no's. No. It was a no. Can't go for that. I just couldn't go for that. Could not go for that. No way, no how. Okay.
You would have said, don't knock it till you try it, Raphie. Don't knock it till you try.
No way, no how. No way, no how. But that's funny. I never saw that girl to this day. From that day till this, never saw her. She was a social worker. It's interesting, man, but it's funny. She never told me that story. Had she not have told me that story, you know, I could have brought her back to my place. We could have had a hell of a time. But it's funny. It's funny how that one story I thought, nah, I'm good. Check, please. You know, it's funny. That one story, she never told me. Could have had a very interesting time with her, she and I. But she told me, and it was nah. Okay. Unbelievably. Hey. That's what do you call it? That's the Raphael Dawkins Freaky Tales. Should be a segment of every show now.
Well, it kind of is. Every 2 or 3 shows at least we get an old.
Every 2 or 3 shows you get one from the vaults. Every 2 or 3 shows you get one from the vaults. Aqua, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so that's one from the vaults, and now we move on. We're at the 49-minute mark. This is why your rdcr is the top podcast about. You know, I just don't like to follow formulas, man. I just like to rig the thing up, have some topics on hand. Yeah, we know we have some general topics on hand, but I'm not. I can't be just tied into just say, yeah, we're gonna talk about this, then we're gonna talk about that. And nah, man, we gotta flow. We gotta flow. So Leon Figures came in, and I don't know what he said. Oh, I must have triggered something I said, must have triggered a story from his memory banks. I don't know how I triggered that, but that got triggered. He told me his story about the text. Remember? Oh, yeah, this is all about the text, isn't it? A text. This is all about a text. And then my story about the text, my top story about a text is that one. The woman thinking she had sent me.
No, it was the typo. That's how it got started, with the typo with the fight doctor.
The fight doctor.
I said the typo. I dated a girl that was a hothead, or she was yeah. And then it led to your racist lesbian.
Alf Garnett, the racist lesbian Alf Garnett situation. The racist lesbian story. Oh my gosh. The racist lesbian who was trying to tell me that I was racist, but it turned out I made an off-color joke, but she was the Alf Garnett. She was the real Alf Garnett. Unbelievably enough. Okay, Tales of the Unexpected. But yes, I just like to go. Just talk, man. Just talk, and that's how real conversations go. It's not a rigid format, scripted. We can do that, and we will go on to the topics, the assigned topics for the night. We're going to move into that now, but Raphie just likes to just flow freely, man. Flow freely, and then sometimes when you flow freely, the magic happens where we get into a story from the vaults, Tales of the Unexpected, and the Raphie got a few of them. Believe you me. But yeah, we started off with the new Prime Minister, but now we get into the thing now. Okay, so we're talking about. Let me share my screen. Hold on a second. Let me share my. Hold on, is that the right one? Yeah. Okay. Screen share, and ultimately, what it is that Jaron Ennis. I'm not going to read the whole story, but Jaron Ennis now has applied to the IBF, has petitioned them to try and get his mandatory title shot enforced against Errol Spence. As some of you may know, who follow my videos, Bud Crawford is now fighting Davidavanesayn, and he's getting something like 10 million. He's promised a minimum figure of $10 million. Why do they call it? Saying eight figure deal. What's that? 10 mil. Yeah, eight figure. So it's $10 million minimum. He's getting to fight Davidavanesayn. We're talking about Bud Crawford. Clearly, some people saying it's two camps. Some people saying, he ran away. Bud Crawford ran away from Errol Spence, but I don't think he ran away. He didn't run away from nothing. He was there. He wanted the fight. He's wanted the fight for years, but Al Heyman was not coming correctly. Bud said he wanted to see the paperwork. Because he's not promised a guarantee. He's got no guarantee, so his money would be coming from the net figures. So he wanted to have a say in the expenses. And Al Heyman was dragging his feet on that. In the meantime, an offer landed on Bud Crawford's lap on his desk. 10 million, 8-figure deal to fight Davidavanesayn. Who's going to say no? He said yes. And now, what happened to strap season indeed. So now that leaves Errol Spence. That leaves Errol Spence in a position now. What does he do now? Some people saying he's going to move up. Others saying, well, he's got mandatories. What's he going to do? Is he going to stick around and fight Ennis? Or the IBF going to grant Ennis a petition late in the day? Are they going to grant his petition to enforce his mandatory title shot against Spence? It's an interesting situation. Leon Figures. Leon Figures might not be by the mic. What we're saying here. Spence, the fake A-side PPV king. Yeah. Done a couple of PPVs, but it's not like he's some kind of. He's not a PPV king for sure. Certainly not. I am to strap season indeed. We're definitely not getting the Crawford versus Spence fight. Reason why Spence isn't getting past Ennis, Stanosis, or Ortiz. If he fights them next. If he fights Thurman, then that's a different story. So I think we should do a poll. You don't think Spence gets past Ennis, Stanosis, or Ortiz? I think he gets past Ortiz. Ortiz is a bit ragged. Ortiz is tough, but a little bit raggedy at the very top. I think he gets past Stanosis. Ennis, I don't know. You might get past all of them. Or maybe not. Or he could get tripped up by one of them. If he was going to get tripped up by any of them, I think he would be Ennis. But then, with Spence is still a formidable opponent. You might be right, but I still see Spence as a formidable opponent. Is Leon Figures back yet? No, he's away from the mic. Okay, let's do a poll. What's this here? Caution tape. Let's do a poll. What's the poll? Who wins? Oh yeah, that's a good poll. Who wins? Who wins? Who wins?
Sorry, Mr. Dawkins.
Yeah.
I ordered a takeaway and the damn driver's got lost. I'm like,
has he delivered it yet?
No.
Oh.
Telling me, can you come outside?
So he still hasn't.
Where are you? I thought,
yeah.
You're in the wrong place. I don't know. Sorry.
No problem. The poll. I'm going to do a poll now. Who wins? Who wins? Spence, Ennis. Who wins between? Who wins? Spence and yes, I'll do it. Spence, Ennis. I don't know who wins. Spence, Ennis. I don't know. I just think.
Well, apparently, the IBF haven't called a mandatory for years.
That's right.
147.
That's right. Yeah, they haven't for years. So Ennis is the IBF, and he's got a strong shout. But yet they're always talking about the IBF. They're very strict. They're strict with their mandatories, but yet they haven't called it for years for 147. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so the poll is there, and I think my question to you, it was just your views, your general thoughts on your general overview on the situation of Crawford fighting or Spence fighting. Well, Crawford going after fight Abanesian. Allegedly, he's getting 10 mil for that, and then the situation now has developed today where Ennis has applied to the IBF to be made mandatory against Errol Spence. And just your general overview of that.
Well, yeah, there's obviously some money issues with getting that fight down the line, the Spence and Crawford fight, which is a shame. It's a great fight. We all want it.
Yeah.
And there's just not enough money there. And so I've got no problem with the Avanesayn fight. I mean, we've got used to letdowns of boxing. This is meant to have been an amazing year of boxing fights.
Yeah.
And some have come off, but just as many haven't. So I wasn't hopeful, you know, and it's a shame because it would answer a lot of questions in the 147 division.
Yeah.
Then the belts, they would have their rematch, and then the belts would disperse, and it would free up the division a bit.
For real.
But I don't have a problem with the Avanesayn fight. He needs to get out there. His last fight was that the. No, was it no? Crawford was his last fight. The Brook fight.
Yes, I believe so.
He needed to. He hasn't even fought this year, has he? So he needed to get out there.
Yeah.
And you know, I think Mayweather said the fight wasn't going to happen this year. So Crawford was like, "Well, I need to get out there," and he's obviously found some investment somewhere. I hope this one comes through because 10 million for him to fight Avanesayn sounds like a lot of money. Yeah. Sounds like Triller kind of money. So I'm hoping that it's not a Triller type of establishment that's funding this and that the fight actually happens. Because I don't want him to get involved in some kind of farce like Lopez was.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, all we can do in boxing is have hope and hope that he gets this fight out of the way and then he's ready to proceed with the Errol Spence fight as soon as the PBC are willing to do it.
For real. For real indeed. Terence Crawford. Well, there's nothing coming up for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford. Active. What's going on here? Terence. Crawford, yeah. What's going on? Something going on. Let's do something else then. Let's have a look. Which other fight? Okay, let's okay, so that's whatever. That's whatever. Whatever is whatever. Let me get out of that. Because that's just taking up too much time.
I mean, I know Ennis is a dangerous fight on paper, but I still think Spence is too much for him at the moment. I don't think Ennis is ready.
Yeah.
But that's one good thing to look forward to. If the Crawford fight doesn't happen, he has got some interesting up-and-coming mandatories waiting.
Yeah.
To own him.
Yeah. That's the situation. Or people say, well, maybe he goes up. But why is he going to go up? Why is he going to go up when Charlo's got...
What's up there for him?
Well, Charlo's got all the belts up there. You know what I'm saying? If he moves up.
This is why I thought that the Crawford fight had a big chance of happening.
Yeah. It was logical.
He's fought all the big fights. That's the last one left. Just get it over the damn line. Give yourself a rematch. Even if it's not the money you want.
Yeah.
Say you want 7 million or 10 and you can get 2 or 3. You're getting that twice. What are you going to get to fight Ennis or Stanionis?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could lose to one of those on a bad day.
Yes. Indeed. So messing about. Basically, some people are trying to blame Bud Crawford I don't think so. I don't think it's his fault. BBC were dragging their feet. And I think Crawford did a very, very sensible and very intelligent thing. He says he guaranteed himself a fight for, or was it December the 10th? Something like December the 10th. He's guaranteed a fight this year. Hasn't fought since what's his name? The fella there. What's his name? The cookie, the chocolate cookie, Brooke. Chocolate cookie.
Chocolate brownies.
Chocolate brownies. The chocolate chip brownies. He hasn't fought since him. So yeah, he's done a sensible thing. He's guaranteed himself a fight for this year. And he's guaranteed himself probably his biggest payday to date. And there's nothing to say that he would get as 10 mil to fight Spence. Nothing to say that whatsoever. Yeah,
that purse bid, that purse they're saying, that just sounds astronomical for an Avanesian fight. It just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
I mean, if there's money there for Avanesian,
yeah,
I'd look to these people to put on the bloody Spence Crawford. What would they put for Spence Crawford for an undisputed?
Well, they couldn't do it because Al Heyman wouldn't let them do it. So even if they had the money, Al Heyman wouldn't let them do it. That's got to be in-house. That's got to be his thing. That's got to be his accounting system. That's got to be his fingers all up in the pie, all up in the video.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, from an accounting perspective, right? If he doesn't have the money, to get these fighters in the ring, he doesn't have the money. Right. So if these people are going to pay, if they're willing to pay Crawford 10 million to fight Avanesian, say they'd have to be willing to pay him more to fight Spence.
Yeah.
And then so therefore Spence would get plus 10 million.
Yeah.
So Al Heyman would get a selection of that. Even if he gets 20%.
Yeah.
He's getting 2 million for nothing.
Yeah, but he
can't guarantee them 2 million. So that's money in the bank. You're still making money. If you don't have the money.
That's one way of looking at it, but his way of looking at it would say, well, yeah, but I could take 2 million, but if I do it myself, I could take maybe 4 million.
But he can't. Otherwise, we'd have to get a fight on. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 4 million of nothing.
Yeah.
Or 2 million somebody else do it.
Listen, I hear you. I agree with what you're saying, but clearly Al Heyman doesn't see it that way. He don't see it that way. Plus, that money it would not be on the. You see, Al Heyman needs it to be on his platform or a platform that he's aligned to. He needs that. That's showtime. You know, that's wherever he go. So he needs it to be, and that money is not available for that from them. These people, this operation, or is it the BLK? This new operation, BLK, that's on their platform. That's money for their platform. They can't give money out for that fight to take place on some other platform. That's their platform. That's the fight happening on their platform. And Al Heyman's not going to let that happen.
I'm just remembering Bob Adams' view when the crazy Chili bid came in. He said, well, I've just made that many million for doing nothing.
Yeah.
His percentage for Teofimo Lopez.
Yes. That's sensible. That's sensible.
The same view. If people want to pay that crazy money for that, then pay it. It's not going to hurt my pockets.
Yeah. But I mean, contractually, I think Al Heyman's contractually obliged to have his fights being shown on certain platforms. So I don't know if he can actually take the deal.
Well, that's funny because when they sent the offer for Joshua, they didn't seem to care that he was meant to be fighting on Sky. He had to fight on when the money was going to be shown on BT. Yeah,
well, they wouldn't care about that. They wouldn't care about that. They that's not their. As far as they're concerned, that's not our problem. That's not our problem. That's your problem. In fact, don't even worry about it. Just sign in. Don't even worry about it. Just sign in. But yeah, I mean, if you're saying that that's like a double standard, then yeah, this is a double standard.
I don't think the fight will happen then. If it's happens on PBC or nowhere, and PBC can't muster up the funds, I don't see it happening. They
may be able to muster up the funds, but I think the hold up was that because the way the deal was structured, Crawford was saying, well, I'm going to need to see the paperwork, and I'm going to have right to approve these expenses because I'm only getting paid after I'm net. There's no guarantee for me. So that means I'm going to have a hand in approving expenses.
I've got I'm sorry, Raphie.
And so that was what was, I think that was holding up the process. That's why the process was dragging on. So I think Crawford did the wise thing. He did the wise thing, and he said, okay, while you work it out, I'm going over here to make some money.
I do have an answer to that question, that conundrum Aaron's put up and that you've put up on the screen.
I think,
well, not an answer, a possibility.
I think the Spence versus Avanesayn fight falls through. Spence versus it ain't Spence. It's Crawford versus Avanesayn. BLK Prime have less than 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and about 5,000 downloads on the App Store. Been around a few years, how can they afford it?
Well, I would suggest that Crawford is signed to a management company, a notorious management company that is having some issues. Yeah. And maybe they're using this new company to wash some of that money they need to launder.
Yeah.
And do it through this new app.
Well, it has crossed my mind. It has crossed my mind. Whoever the people are that are offering 10 million to Crawford for this fight, whoever they are people with a lot of money. And they may be people who need to spend a lot of money for certain reasons. The people you're talking about, Leon, are not the only people who have a lot of money, or the only people who need to spend a lot of money sometimes. So it could be a subsidiary or affiliate of the people you're talking about, Aaron. I mean, Leon. Or it could be some other people. You see what I'm saying, Leon?
Yes.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So in response to Aaron, there are people out there who have lots of money that they need to spend. So the fact that you're looking at those numbers and the numbers don't seem to add up does not mean that these BLK people don't have a lot of money that they need to spend.
But why not? If that's the case, then why don't these people wash their money through PBC? I'm sure Heyman will take the money.
Well, if you take the money, why hasn't he taken it thus far?
I don't know.
Because these people have been around for a long time, and Heyman. Well, the last time Heyman got some money, he kind of spent it all, didn't he? Got $500 million. Got $500 million in loans, and it's pretty much, where's the money gone? Where's the money gone? So I don't know if Heyman might be a step too far, even for those types of people, because those people actually do like to make some kind of return. Heyman got $500 million and kind of did not spend it wisely. And in comes, has your food come yet, Leon?
Yes, it has arrived. Thank you.
Okay, it has arrived. It has arrived. Okay, and in comes the man like, as a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat. Let's have him introduce himself.
Yo, Fight Doctors in the house on Rick James status as always. Good evening, gentlemen.
Peace, Fight Doctor.
How you doing, Fight Doctor? How you doing? You okay?
I'm doing well. Getting over a cold, but I'm doing well.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sound a little bit under the weather. What's going on with the mushroom soup? You need to get the mushroom soup, put some peppers in the mushroom soup.
Yeah, well, we're gonna fix up a nice batch of mushroom soup this evening with the peppers and all the trimmings.
Yes. Peppers, red onion. Yeah, I would say peppers and red onion. I don't know. Maybe even some garlic if you really wanna push the boat out and get all those, get the fullness of it. Then I don't know. Maybe even a couple of cloves of garlic in there.
Yeah, well, we got some in the fridge, so we'll definitely add that to the stew.
Yes. I think that's sensible. That's prudent. Raphie's on a high nutrient dense greens, red onion, garlic. The beetroot is a big one. Beetroot, the beetroot. Just chopping that up in my vegetables, my salads. Massive. It's a big thing. Peppers. I'm having lots and lots of vegetables, and I feel vital. But one second, let me just before I go to you, the fight doctor. Maybe them people are still in the game. Maybe they are. They still need to do things. Great points. I forgot he was signed to the. he was, wasn't he? Yeah, but anyway, the fight doctor, come in with your thoughts, observations on this day in history.
So people have been accusing Terence Crawford of ducking Errol Spence. And look, according to my calculations, the way the math adds up in my mind, this is not a duck. Now, let's wind back to the mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
You had this is like the second golden era of the heavyweight division, because at this time you had Evander Holyfield was active, Mike Tyson was active, and Lennox, the great Lennox Lewis, Lennox the Lion Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the time, this is about 95, I think it was, Mike Tyson held the WBC and WBA heavyweight titles. I think Holyfield had just lost to either Michael Moore, or it was the third fight to Riddick Bowe. I don't remember which one it was. I think he was coming off of a loss to Michael Moore.
Okay.
And Lennox Lewis was about to be, either he was or he was going to be soon, the number one contender in the WBC. I believe he was number one contender and was the WBC mandatory.
Right.
So in boxing at that time, people wanted to see Tyson Lewis.
Yeah.
Right. Holyfield at the time, there was reports that he was having heart problems, this, that, and another. And, the conventional wisdom at the time was Holyfield was on his way out.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this loss to Michael Moore and et cetera.
I remember that era. Yeah.
Yeah. So now at the time, Lennox Lewis, as great as he was not a known quantity. He was still sort of living under the shadow of the loss to Oliver McCall. I think it was a second round knockout, one punch knockout.
Yeah.
So at the time, Lennox Lewis had this reputation of being chinny.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't really known here in America.
No.
Right?
He hadn't fully established himself in America yet.
Yeah, so he was an unknown quantity for the general public.
Yeah.
Hardcore boxing fans knew exactly who Lennox Lewis was.
For sure.
But the casual fans, they knew who Evander Holyfield was because he fought this tremendous fight with Riddick Bowe. In fact, he fought two fights, tremendous battles with Riddick Bowe.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course, everyone knew who Mike Tyson was.
Yeah.
So Lewis was made the mandatory for Tyson's WBC belt.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, instead of fighting Lennox Lewis, he fought Evander Holyfield. And at that time, I
remember that.
There was this murmuring that Tyson had ducked Holyfield. I personally don't see it that way, and here's the reason why. Mike Tyson, in fighting Evander Holyfield, probably earned several million, tens of millions of dollars more than he would have made fighting Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
So if you can go somewhere else and make more money fighting fighter Z as opposed to fighting fighter X, even though maybe perhaps fighter X is more worthy, and at that time you can make the argument that Lewis, he only had the one loss, but he had come back from the loss, was a more worthy opponent than Evander Holyfield, who had not looked good in the loss to Michael Moore. You can make the argument that Lewis was the more worthy opponent. However, Tyson can make more money fighting Evander Holyfield than he could Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
So therefore, the argument in my mind that Mike Tyson ducked Lennox Lewis at that time was nonsensical, because it's called prize fighting. You fight for a prize. You fight for money, and your job as a fighter is to make as much money in every fight.
Straight.
Because your next fight might be your last.
100%.
So let's fast forward to 2022.
Yeah.
Here you have a guy in Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
Started his career at 135 pounds. Okay. Won a title there. Became undisputed. I'm sorry. Lineal.
Yeah.
Lineal champion at 135. Lineal undisputed at 140. And now is arguably the number one welterweight in the world. Arguably. I personally would make that argument.
Yeah.
Also, pound for pound, number one fighter in the world.
Who?
In my mind, Bud Crawford.
Okay.
All right. Pound for pound, number one. In my mind, and there's a lot of daylight between him and number two. If Bud Crawford were to retire today, first ballot Hall of Famer. If Errol Spence were to retire today, does he even make it to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
So when I do my math, and in my mind, how it adds up is this: who needs who?
Yeah.
In this equation. Does Bud Crawford need Errol Spence, or does Errol Spence need Bud Crawford?
Yeah.
Now, you can take those three belts, those three trinkets, and push them to the side. Because in the grand scheme of things, trinkets, belts don't get you into the Hall of Fame. They don't. What gets you into the Hall of Fame is, well, who did you beat?
Who you
get
beat?
Those trinkets.
Who you beat?
Who you beat is what gets you in the Hall of Fame, not belts. People want to place all this importance on the WBC, IBF, WBO, the WB. I don't care, because it doesn't matter. Because if I ask the casual fan, well, who did Errol Spence beat to get those belts? Well, who?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't even remember.
I hear you.
And that's the appropriate response when we're talking about the belts, because it should put us all to sleep, because it's boring. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter that you have the WBC, IBF, whatever. Who did you beat to get those belts? So in front of you now, Errol Spence, you have a challenge. You beat Bud Crawford. Well, guess what? You now get to go to the Hall of Fame. Why? Because you beat a guy who's a legitimate pound for pound number one fighter in the world. And you become lineal welterweight champion in the process.
Can I retort?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I much prefer Bud Crawford. But I have to say, beating Sean Porter, Kell Brook at the time, and Ugas, I think that's a decent way to collect 3 belts. You know, I think that's a decent way to collect them. I do think that is a decent run to get the 3.
Garcia.
And when it comes into who needs who, you're right. Crawford's already a high contender for the Hall of Fame. And Crawford said it himself. he doesn't need it. He could retire. His legacy's set. Undefeated, 3-weight world champion, undisputed. And he's also lived more of a boxer's life from the outside to Errol Spence. There's been no car crashes, no ballooning up and down in weight, no drunken scenes in clubs.
Yeah. No.
I think Crawford will be around for a while.
No Ferrari flipping.
Yeah, no Ferrari flipping, no broken faces and eyes
and teeth.
So I do think.
Listen, there's more. Okay, the plot thickens because in this whole adventure, right, in the lead up into this fight, who has already made the most concessions? Who has demonstrated beyond any shadow of a doubt they want this fight to happen? In my mind, it's Bud Crawford, and here's the reason why. Between these two, there's only one guy who has removed the major impediment to making this fight happen, which is Top Rank. Bud Crawford has got rid of his promoter. Now, that was a major roadblock. Bud Crawford removed that. That's a concession on Bud Crawford's side, on his part. A major concession, because he could have just re-signed with Top Rank and told Uncle Al, okay, you talk to Lonesome Bob, and you all hash it out. And whenever you all decide the fight is going to be, I'll see you all dressed up and ready to go. That's what Crawford could have did, right? Crawford could have went and signed with Golden Boy. He could have signed with Eddie Hearn. He could have signed with a host of other promoters, but he didn't. What did he do? I'm the free agent now. You can deal directly with me. Spence still has a promoter, okay, a quote-unquote promoter, manager, whatever the situation might be.
Yeah.
But the person who's made the major concession on my, as far as making the fight happen, well, that's been Crawford. So this whole chorus about about Crawford ducking. Well, how was Crawford ducking when he pushed his promoter out of the way in order to make the fight? He's a free agent now. So now it seems it's more easier to make the fight on the Crawford side because there's no promoter you have to deal with. There's no third party. Uncle Al is now all in-house.
I must say though, Fight Doctor, when Crawford last came to the UK, he watched two faded fighters in Amir Khan and Kell Brook being loved, celebrated, supported financially, ticket sales and pay-per-views. And even Crawford himself felt so much love from the UK. He said he's going to buy property over here.
Yeah.
And it's a shame if the fight fans in America could produce 50% of that passion and energy, we would have no problem making this fight. The money would be there. The stadiums would get filled. Al Heyman would be rubbing his hands. It was just a shame that the American fight fans can't get behind what would be a great fight. It would be a great fight. It would be intriguing. The possibilities are endless. It will be a great 2 fights at least to watch, a possible trilogy. It has the makings for everything. It is just a shame that American fight fans can't support this financially when it counts, not on YouTube and in comment sections, in pay-per-views and ticket sales. You know, it is such a shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame. I'm looking if we go into another topic. Do we go into another topic? Topics galore.
Is it Chisora or Fury Chisora 3?
Yeah. In fact, go ahead, guys. Go ahead. You lead off, Leon Figures. Let's talk about Fury Chisora 3. There's issues with the tickets. They're supposed to have sold out tickets are reappearing on resale sites. It hasn't sold out, nowhere near it. Let me pull up the latest article on the subject matter.
But as always,
yeah.
I need to interject by saying, whenever I discuss Derek Chisora, I must announce I have a bias against him.
Oh, I thought you had a bias for him.
No, against.
Okay, I thought you was a fan of Chisora.
No.
Oh, okay.
I can't stand his belligerence.
Mm.
The fact that he's been pay-per-view so often, it astounds me. His demands just don't warrant the quality of what he produces.
Mm.
But saying that, I think the fight will do better than us on the inside in boxing think, because Derek Chisora has that ability to pull in casual fans. Guys that don't normally watch boxing will go and watch his fight, have a few drinks, and watch somebody go in the ring and have a tear up. You know, so he's I think Derek Chisora does bring fans. Tyson Fury's got into the casual market now with his speaking tours, and ever since he's reinvented himself as having this, it wasn't a drugs ban. All of a sudden, it was mental health. Okay, he's reinvented himself from not a drugs ban to mental health issues.
Yeah.
The weight loss, his lockdown videos, he's got really into the casual market, and they do seem to be supporting him.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is a chance that people will watch the fight, casuals, and I think that they will be happy with it. We all inside in boxing aren't expecting anything spectacular at all from it. It is one of the last fights we would have wanted him to have, but I think there is a chance, a reasonable chance, that it is a financial success. I think casuals will buy it as much as the people inside the boxing will be kicking and screaming at the nonsensical nature of the trilogy. There's just nobody's asking for, nobody needs.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is a chance that the casuals can, and I do agree. The instant sales are down to ticket touts. So same with Joshua. The ticket touts snap them up first.
Yeah.
But with Joshua, they go on to sell them.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll have to see on the day whether they fill out the new Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah.
And we have to say, if they manage to do that in December with Derek Chisora and Tyson Fury, we have to acknowledge that Tyson Fury has gained some value.
Yeah.
Market value. We have to.
He's gained some market share.
Filling Wembley with Dillian White, cool.
Yeah.
Filling Tottenham with Derek Chisora in December, that's not a one hit now. You know, you're knocking 2 home runs there. Because he's up against it. He was up against it. You know, to outsell what Joshua did at Wembley, because I think they got more than 90, didn't they? To outsell what Joshua did.
Yeah, that was craftiness on the part of Frank Warren. Or if Eddie Hearn had said, yeah, bank some more chairs in then. Bank some more chairs in. Then he would have done the figures. He'd have had more. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted a bit more sensible.
No, what happened was, when council said you can only sell an extra 10,000 if you're going to have coach tickets. People have to come over on coach. The transport system can't sustain it.
Right.
And where Eddie Hearn thought people don't travel from all over the UK to see Joshua, whereas Fury's got a fan base in Manchester.
Right.
So then they were able to sell those coach packages. So he was just able to sell. So he was, in that sense, being a Manchester-based fighter. That's where he was able to get those extra coach ticket sales through, because it was the same deal. You can have the extra 10,000 or however much it was, but it's got to be coach tickets. The trains and the buses can't take any more capacity.
For real.
Fury had the fans to do it, whereas Joshua, they weren't willing to do that for Joshua.
Well, that's cool. That's cool in the gang. That's cool in the gang for Fury. But they did move it from the Principality Stadium in Wales to Tottenham. So there was less, which has less capacity. So that has to be noted. And also, what has to be noted, let's share the screen. So that story would suggest that Fury is selling with parity. Iron Kong up in the building. How you doing, Iron Kong? I would suggest that Fury is selling with parity to Joshua, but I can refute that swiftly. Hold on a second. Let's get the print up bigger. Let's get this thing bigger. I can refute that swiftly. Where are we? Okay. Where are we? Okay. Despite the mass dismay of the fight, okay, so despite the mass dismay of this fight, we're talking about Chisora Fury. Frank Warren claims the event has sold over 50,000 tickets already. However, we've noted that 95% of social media comments surrounding the event are negative. Not many British people, if any boxing fans, want to see this fight. Therefore, expecting a sellout crowd of 60,000 plus to pack inside a UK football stadium in the winter is a long shot. The reaction to Tyson Fury defending the WBC heavyweight title against a man he's roundly beaten twice, the second time badly, has not been positive. Okay, so we have to look at the situation. We have to look at the situation here. The situation is that they've got these tickets. They've got these tickets on sale, and they are expensive. So, for example, a ticket at Joshua versus Usyk, which they had marked at £40.
I've got a question for you on that, Raphie.
Hold on a second. Ticket which you could have bought for AJ Usyk at £40. Those same tickets they've priced now. Frank Warren, Tyson Fury have priced them at £85. That's more than double.
Here's the question.
And hold on. And that's not to say that Joshua Hearn couldn't have had higher pricing. It's that those tickets, Joshua tickets, are priced for the common man. So you always get these cheaper tickets priced for the common man. But yet the paradox is that the so-called man of the people, the man who swindles the people, the man who makes up allegations that is given to charity, allegations that is going to build houses for the homeless and then does not, that man has got the cheap seats for more than double than Anthony Joshua. Now you tell me who's the man of the people.
Are we comparing apples with apples, though? Are they comparing stadium tickets to resale?
No. They're talking about the exact same seats. So we're comparing apples with apples. They're talking about the exact.
I know the same seats, but is it going direct through the stadium or is it through the ticket house? Because the ticket house always bump up the prices, don't they?
No. Listen, you could get a ticket for AJ Usyk for £40. Those same seats are now £85. That's more than double. So that's not buying it in a different way. That's buying it in the same way that you bought an Anthony Joshua seat. You buy that same seat in the same way you bought it for Joshua Usyk, and it will cost you double, more than double.
Blimey.
So you know, that's a big statement. That's a big statement. And moreover, tickets have been over £200. The cheap tickets are expensive. £200 tickets, obviously they go up higher, but this is just a ticket rip-off when it comes to pricing. They're ripping off the people. The so-called man of the people is ripping off the people.
But Raphael, that means if he manages to sell it out,
yeah,
that he is performing better financially than Joshua.
Well, he's not going to sell it out, though, is he?
That's the only thing he manages to do, though, is
Well,
he's
no,
just making more gate revenue.
It's on track not to sell out. It's on track not to sell out. Because a lot of the tickets, well, first of all, it hasn't sold out, A, whereas Joshua sells out within a day or two. So it's not sold out, A, and B, the tickets are not priced. They're not priced for the people. The tickets ain't priced for the people. I hear what you're saying. If it does sell out, then that means people are prepared to pay more for a Tyson Fury ticket than a Joshua ticket. Well, I don't know if you can even say that, though, because if you price the Joshua ticket more expensively, then there's nothing to say people wouldn't still pay. But it's
I wouldn't say prepared to pay. I'm just saying he would have got a higher gate revenue at the same stadium for fighting a far inferior opponent.
Well, yes, but that's not good that's not necessarily a good thing for the game, because if that could then prompt another promoter to say, well, hold on a second, we're not having this guy have his tickets more expensive than us and making it look like he's the premier guy when he's not. Let's bump our tickets up. So this isn't good. This isn't good for the game. So I don't think it's going to sell out. Pretty confident it's not going to sell out. I think there's going to be lots and lots of tickets, ticket touts who are going to get their fingers burnt, and they kind of need to, because if other promoters follow this precedent, then all it's going to mean is more expensive tickets for the
Mr. Dawkins
customer. Yeah,
I hate when I have to do this, because outside of the ring, I am not the biggest Tyson Fury fan at all. Inside of the ring, I think the guy beats everyone. But outside of the ring, I'm not the biggest fan. But whenever I have these discussions, I find myself defending Fury. It's not something I want to do.
We'll do it.
But the fight doctor was just saying about Crawford and Spence, it's prize fighting.
Yeah.
For the fighters, they want to get as much money as possible before they get out. And that seems like that is what Warren is trying to get done for Fury.
Mm-hmm. So
we can't, on the one hand, praise Crawford for taking the 10 million BLK at money to fight Avanesayn, and then complain that Fury is trying to squeeze as much money.
No, but it's not the equivalent. It's not the equivalent, because nobody's getting squeezed. Nobody's getting squeezed by Crawford taking that 10 million. But by Tyson Fury doubling the prices of the cheap tickets, then the paying fan is getting squeezed. Nobody's getting squeezed by Crawford getting 10 mil from dubious sources. So it's not an equivalent.
Fair point.
And also, furthermore, I suspect BT are going to have the audacity to be charging £25 for the pay-per-view. I'm sure you're not going to like
£30. I think 30.
Oh, okay. So they're going to be charging what? It's 25. It's 25.
They charged this last one. What did they charge for Dillian White?
Wasn't that 25? It used to be 19.90. It used to be 19. Didn't it go up to 25? Isn't that the new price? Isn't that the new norm?
Yeah, I thought it was 30 for some reason. Well, yeah, I think it would be the same as the last one. It would be the same. Yeah. So if the last one was 25, this one will be 25. That's what I'm guessing.
25 or 30. I can't remember which one it was. 25 or 30. But yeah, so the so-called man of the people is trying to squeeze them till their pips squeak. And that's the expression. Squeeze them till their pips squeak. So it don't really seem like a man of the people when he's doubling the cheap tickets. When he's doubling the price of the cheap tickets. That ain't cool. That ain't cool to the Raphie. Selling point. Lots of tickets still available. What's this here? Time will tell whether those tickets really did sell to genuine fans, and whether over 50,000 fans will greet Fury judging by social media comments, it certainly won't be full. Don't look like it gonna be full. We could go on and on and on and on. And
I don't think we can go by social media comments though, because as I said, boxing fans, we're vocal on social media, but we don't drive pay-per-view. We don't move the needle pay-per-view wise. There's just not enough of us. It's the casuals that do that.
Casuals,
casuals that fill stadiums. But hardcore fans fill small halls. It's the casuals that get you to sell out a stadium. Especially these bigger stadiums. We're not even arenas. So it's stadiums. That's the casual market.
For real.
So, as much as we are in disgust, I can see casuals coming on, hearing Derek Chisora almost beat Usyk. Usyk beat AJ twice. Derek Chisora has been to war. Show a few highlights of him steaming forward, swinging bombs, throwing tables at press conferences. I can see it, and we can see that coming. Some staged, fake hatred for the two friends, Fury and Chisora, almost fighting each other, maybe a punch thrown or a kick thrown or some kind of something to build it up. Because they didn't need to with Dillian White. I think we're going to need to with this one. I think we will see something staged that will help to boost sales and spark interest. And I do think it will end up. I do think it will sell out. I think because these people have been in this game a while, and Warren's been waiting a long while to have somebody with the potential that Tyson Fury's got. And he done it successfully at Wembley, and he would have learned from that. As bad as the undercard was, the stadium was still full. They still generated the revenue. So, and now this time he's got Dubois on the undercard, so he's improving the undercard already from that point.
Yeah,
it's gone for a slightly smaller stadium, increased ticket prices. You can see where he's tweaking it. He's making little adjustments and tweaks.
He's tweaking it, mate. He's proper tweaking. Don't worry about that. He's proper tweaking. But in comes someone who's not tweaking. It's our man from the Caribbean. Goes by the name of Iron Kong. Talk to me.
Yeah, peace to everybody. The great Leon figures in the house.
Peace, Iron Kong. Peace.
Venerable PhD fight doctor, and Raphie, the host of Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio, broadcasting live from Dawkins Towers. What's up? What's on your mind? We talking about Tyson Fury and he bomb fight? What's up?
Talking about bomb fight. We're talking about Tyson Fury hasn't sold out. Allegedly 50,000 tickets. 50,000 of the 60,000 have been sold, but yet a vast number of them, those tickets are appearing on resale sites, which you could say there's nothing unusual about that. But the thing is, the ticket touts can only do their thing when the events are sold out, and the event ain't sold out. So you know what I'm saying? They got ticket touts may get their fingers heavily burnt with this one. We're talking about ticket touts getting their fingers burnt. We're talking about seats, cheap seats that were Joshua Usyk sold for £40 or priced at £40. We're talking about those same seats being priced at £85 to see Fury Chisora 3. We're talking about a fight that nobody wanted to see.
Well, let me just say, shout out to my boy Del Boy. Didn't mean to call him, a bum. I said bum fight, but that's what Tyson Fury says. Everybody's a bum. Frank Warren said, Chisora fights hard enough to come second every time. So, it's odd seeing Frank Warren, try and talk up this fight as if we know what this is, Maybe they can drop AJ's name a few more times. They did a lot in the press conference, as everybody knew they would. I mean, you can't sell a fight without talking about Anthony Joshua. So that's what it is. I mean, raising the price of the tickets. They said the Tyson Fury show rolls on. People willing to pay for the tickets, go ahead and pay it. But the Gypsy King is a man of the people. And, you know, I guess they have to make it up in seat revenue because they're not going to make it up in pay-per-view revenue. We still don't know how much they made for the Dillian, how much pay-per-view was for the Dillian White fight. We still don't know. Is this fight going to be pay-per-view, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not going to make up any revenue on the pay-per-view.
Certainly.
And so they have to make up the revenue on the seats. So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that explains it.
That's a damn good point.
Yeah.
That's a damn good point. That's a damn good point.
Queensby tweaks. They're gonna squeeze as much as they can.
I mean, they got to do something, Leon. I mean, you know, Leon, have they said how much the Dillian White pay-per-view did? Have they said anything?
I'm not sure, but what you said makes perfect sense.
Most certainly not.
Yeah,
It
so
wouldn't have
then
been-
we gotta make it up somewhere, like the guys them who, you know, who used to say, oh, you know, get on the back end, you know, the hot dog sales, the parking, the peas and mash,
Yeah.
all of that.
Charge them extra for the
It would be the beer. The beer sales will be where they'll really make the money.
yeah.
The beer sales. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
got
weed-
make it.
the
They're
weed-
not gonna make
the
it up in
weed
pay-per-view revenue.
The weed
The what?
sales is where they're really gonna make the money at the end.
Oh,
They're leaving. The weed sales. The weed
weed
sales.
sales.
You know what I'm saying? At the end where they're leaving, you know? They're leaving.
Yeah.
They're gonna go and see the baby mother since they're in town.
See?
Yeah. Pick up a bundle. Pick up a little bundle. You have to listen to the beginning of the show, by the way. After the first 15 minutes come, you have to go back and listen. I'd say after the first 15 minutes, I think you will be entertained. We went off piste. We went off piste.
Okay, I'll listen tomorrow at work. I'll chop the Raphie Dawkins show as usual, and I'll let it run.
Just don't have it on loud. Have your headphones in.
I have headphones in.
Oh, okay. Well, I have an office to myself, so it's fine.
You're good. Went off piece, but we have to ask you because I know that you watch these fights. You watch these fights over there in the Caribbean. PBC fights typically. Try. We got a situation there where Bud Crawford has received a large offer, 10 million, to fight Davidavanesayn. So he's going to do that. He's fed up of waiting for Al Heyman, dragging his feet. Al Heyman trying to cook the books, and he's been blamed. He's been blamed as ducking. He's been blamed as a duck. But is he a duck? And now we got another development. That's part one. Part two is we got another development now where Jaronennis is petitioning the IBF, who have not mandated a fight at 147 in something like 5 years. It's petitioning the IBF to be the next mandatory. It's his turn, and he wants it now. So
I agree with him. Let me start with the Jaronennis situation first. I agree with him. Listen, man, if you ain't gonna fight in the unification next, you're either gonna give up that belt or you're gonna fight me for it. I don't believe Errol Spence should be given any more grace. This is a man who getting car accidents and ain't been stripped of none he belts them. You know what I'm saying? As I said, 5 years he's won this belt against Kell Brook and no mandatory or whatever. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. So I agree with Jaronennis. It's either you're going to fight me and you got to give up the belt. So it's not come down to Jaronennis management to position him properly, to force that fight to happen. Because I see Stanley is also saying he wants his WBA shot.
Yeah.
Right? Because he agreed to step aside or wait for this fight to take place. That's not going to happen. Yeah. I can't call Terrence Crawford no duck. You can't tell me this man doesn't have a promotional deal, doesn't have none of that. No network. So he's over there free agent and you still can't make the fight. I remember, people have been playing the clips all the time, but it's always something. Tim Smith, we can't pay Bud what he wants. Hasn't even spoken to Terrence Crawford yet, but already writing off. we can't pay him what he wants. He's going to want something ridiculous. And the fans not going to buy the fight and all this other nonsense. This is the same Tim Smith who was on when he was the Wilder AJ debacle saying, oh, that fight will happen when Al Heyman thinks it's right to make the fight happen. Same Tim Smith. These people play their hand very early. Floyd Mayweather came and said the fight's not happening. People been saying the fight's not happening. It's this dog and pony show they're running. Take this 35%, take this, take that. Yeah. I mean, as Terence Crawford, since June, this is heading into December. This is what? This is October heading into November, sorry.
Yeah.
And since June, you can't make this fight with a man who doesn't have any encumbrances. Yeah. It comes out that they're pushing the fight to February. Steven Espinosa has been on always some new date. When it comes out February, we're going to try to make the fight. So, okay. Fight against davidavanesayn and presents itself for whatever money. The man needs to fight. He hasn't fought since Sean Porter. He needs to fight. So, that ain't no duck. Just PBC can't make this fight. They don't have the money to give them a good, decent guarantee. And then make up the rest on the hot dog sales and the parking and the beer sales, as in buy figures say. Yeah. They can't give them a decent guarantee, Raphie. That's the problem. They can't give both guys. And from what I understand, they're not asking for an Anthony Joshua or Canelo Alvarez guarantee. No. You know what I'm saying? No. So you can't. How you gonna call this man a duck when you PBC holds all the cards? They have the broadcast. They're the ones offering money, and you can't offer man a decent thing to make a fight happen. It's joke business, man. It just kind of shows like these people are on the ropes. They don't really have the capacity right to make a fight like that happen. But it's interesting, they were willing to pretty much empty the ladders and the war chest on Canelo. They were willing to do that for Canelo.
What's that all about?
These two men, two of them combined, not going to get half of what Canelo asked for guarantee. Canelo's asking for like $30 million guaranteed. Yeah. These men combined ain't asking for half of that $30 million guaranteed.
All right. But then Canelo guarantees certain views though, doesn't he?
He right. But then I don't believe Canelo ever makes back that amount of money. 30 million for I believe PBC and the zone takes losses on that. Takes a something. But what you do, you try and keep a certain viewership. Yeah. Here, paying for your product.
For real.
So I can't call Terence Crawford no dog. I don't see these man do all kind of gymnastics not to fight Terence Crawford. And I agree with Jaronennis. He said that you're gonna fight me, I ain't gonna give up the belt. And that's real talk. I believe he should force the issue.
Yes. And gentlemen, with that,
how you see it? I didn't hear. How you see
it? My position is that Bud Crawford did the sensible thing. Bud Crawford has made himself available to these people. Bud Crawford has been very amenable. He's been the one who's always wanted the fight, and now Al Heyman can't give him a guarantee, so he says, "Fine, pay me from the net profits." And but I'm going to have to see the books because I'm going to have a say so in the expenses and how the expenses are paid and allocated, and I'm going to have to okay the expenses since I'm not getting a guarantee. And how Al Heyman has balked at that. He's balked at that, and he's been dragging his feet. So I think that Bud Crawford has done the perfectly sensible thing. He's had a very good offer. While them guys are dragging their feet, can't dot the I's and cross the T's yet. Since they can't do that, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make 10 million, which might be more than I make fighting Spence. Might be. I don't know. I'm going to make this 10 million, and I'll be right back. By the time I get back, you should have crossed the I's. We should have crossed the I's and dotted the T's, and it's good to go. So Bud Crawford doing the right thing. And we're going to get to see. Also, it's a good fight as well. Avanesian. It's not the fight I wanted to see, but Avanesian, he's a tough cookie, and we want to see what his level is.
Well, you know what I feel about that?
Yeah.
I tell you already. I mean, Avanesian was being called the desperate man, not doing nothing, running after Conor Benn. Conor Benn fighting drug charges. Avanesian fighting the best welterweight in the world.
Boom. Let's have it.
How times have changed.
How times have changed. Let's have it. I want to see it. And then hopefully PBC can get their act together. PBC, their money game is not tight. It ain't tight. They take too long to do things. They're not an efficient outfit. Don't wait around. Bud ain't waiting around. He ain't messing around. He's going forward. I want to see him move it along. And it's coming up to midnight over here. We've had a nice long show. We're into overtime already. I don't even think we need any final words. We just need a quick final words from around the table. Is the fight doctor back yet? Fight doctor is not back. Leon Figures. Quick 20-second final words so we can shut this baby down.
Final words. I think Fury and Chisora will sell out and be a financial success, and will announce Fury as approaching equal market value to Joshua.
Oh dear. Terrible. Perish the thought. That was Leon Figures. Much appreciation goes out to Leon Figures. Great having you. Great having you tonight. Great chat. The Iron Kong, your final words, please.
Yeah, just a little bit of education for the people. We're coming up to the time of the dissolution, the official dissolution of the New Jewel movement headed by the Honorable His Excellency Maurice Bishop in Grenada.
Okay.
Who was instrumental in overthrowing what was a dictatorial, tyrannical rule before him there. And he installed what was a socialist Marxist state in Grenada, which was the envy of the region in terms of education and social services and all that. We all know what happened in Grenada. The American government would not have that, especially with the ties to Cuba, and they invaded Grenada under false pretenses.
Yes.
And encouraged who was Maurice Bishop's deputy, to assist in overthrowing him and assassinating him along with others.
Murderous.
So 29th of October, the official dissolution coming up. I don't know if I'm going to be on Raphie show by that time.
Yeah.
I want all of y'all to look up the New Jewel movement. Maurice Bishop, who was one of the signatories to the Treaty of Bastille, which laid out the practice of the OECS.
Yes.
And Maurice Bishop was one of the greatest men to ever exist in this part of the world. And he was overthrown because the US government would not allow people free choice of their governance. Raphie, you have a good night, my brother.
That was awesome. That was the Iron Kong. A little bit of history lessons before bedtime over here in the UK. That was a Maurice Bishop. I remember that vaguely. What was it, 20 years ago? I remember the overthrow. I remember the invasion vaguely. Maurice Bishop. Look him up. Maurice Bishop, Grenada. And is the fight doctor back yet? No. Fight doctor's not back. He's getting his concoction ready. The mushroom, the red onion, the garlic, the peppers. Sweat out the impurities. It's been a good one. Coming up to midnight. Raphie's got an relatively early start, but I trust that we've brought you the top shelf entertainment tonight. We've been talking about boxing, and of course we went off piste earlier on. the story I don't think Raphie's ever shared in public or ever. I think that's one that I kept. That's one that I kept in the vaults for over 20. Is it, how many years has it been? Over 15 years at least. Over 15 years at least, maybe more. Okay, so there's nothing more for us to say. We need to shut this thing down so everybody can get a proper good night's sleep. If you're abroad, enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're here, have a good, jolly good night. And it's a happy Diwali. And we have an Indian, a man of an Indian origin as a Prime Minister. No Alf Garnett business over here. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. It's the hitting the bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. Don't forget about the live show. We might do another one this week. See how it goes. These things take time out of our days. So, you know, it's about what you can fit in. Don't forget to check out the videos. Thank you to my panelists, the Leon Figures, the Fight Doctor, and the Iron Kong. And thanks to everybody who jumped in. Support the thing. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Hit all of the good buttons. It's Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, and we are out. Blessed.